So something that's been on my mind recently that I just can't help but continue to think about, I can't stop thinking about it, is the idea about the way we as humans do memory, how we remember things in our past specifically. How I personally feel like my time that I spent in Portugal, it feels like it was so long ago. I feel like sometimes I feel like I'm so distanced from it where to the point where it feels like it hasn't even happened. It didn't ever happen really. Obviously, I know that that's not true, but sometimes in my mind it's like my mind kind of looks at the environment around me right now, and just cuz I'm not in the environment that I used to be in, it makes you think, oh, like it either makes you feel like it never actually happened, it doesn't feel like it happened, or it feels like it was so long ago that like you don't have good memory of it. But like it's only really been a year, and the fact that it's been that long's crazy, right? It's only really been a year since I left Portugal the first time to come back to Canada, basically doing the trial and accepting that I really wasn't going to work out and I got to reset a little bit when it came to my whole football journey thing. We're closing in on a year, which is pretty interesting, right? We're closing in on a year of this show, right? Very, very before you know it, the show will be done. The 365 days will be up. But I can't help but continue to think about times past, right? It feels like much longer ago. It feels like distant memories. And it's a weird thing because it is about the way that the human mind kind of compiles memories together. And this is a pretty well known thing that if you do something in your past, the mind will kind of put everything together as one memory. Like the very easy thing, which is like your drive to work. If you do the exact same drive to work every day for like 2 years, your brain will kind of put it all together as one memory. You won't, like, unless something crazy happened one specific day that differentiated and deviated from the norm a little bit, then you'll remember that thing. But for the most part, the drive will be like the exact same memory in your mind. It won't be the specific, you won't remember like the specific things that happen every day because it was over a long stretch of time. You would just remember it as one memory. Your brain would kind of compile it into one thing. That kind of is how I feel about my time in Portugal. Like, I know it's real. Like, obviously I know it's real. I'm not dumb. Right? I know it happened. I remember the times that I spent with the many amazing people. It's just the fact that I'm not there right now that makes me like internally just feel like, like it really feels so distant. But it really isn't. Like I learned, like it's like it can be like a 5 hour plane flight if the pilot goes super fast from Toronto to Portugal. Like it's really not that far away. Like I've traveled much longer periods of time to get to certain places before. So it really isn't that far away, like geographically. And I've had situations happen where like people would come visit me and they'd be there for like a couple of days, but they would just do it on a limb basically. And when I last year I did the flight from Portugal to Canada just off a limb, and I got a crazy good deal on it. I was paying 460 euros for the round trip in like end of May, early June of 2025, which was just an unbelievable deal. One of probably the best travel deals I'll ever find in my entire life. But it was an eye opener in the sense that it's not actually that geographically far away, but like in my mind for some reason I just like can't help but sometimes feel like it's so distant because I'm looking at the situations I'm in now, the people I'm around right now, and it's so very different from the people I was around back then, right? And back then being over a year ago and 2 years ago type of thing. Like, but I always remember, like, even in this room, obviously you don't see the room, but even around me, I could see many different things, reminders of my time there because they were things that I got while I was over there, souvenirs, memorabilia. My laptop that I have over there, I got while I was in Portugal. And even this shirt that I'm wearing, there's nothing Portuguese about it, but I did get the shirt while I was over there. This shirt's like 2 years old. So it makes me think, yes, there's so many reminders. There's so many reminders of my time there that, like, yeah, of course, it's true. And of course, I have to always appreciate the time I spent there. And also, I need to appreciate just how much I've grown in my time there. Like that's another important part to this whole, like, the mind combining memories together. It's like, there are many amazing things that happened during my time there, but I really think about who I was when I was 17 years old before I actually left, and I think about who I am now. It's so different. It really, really, like, just objectively, like it doesn't take much rationalization to realize, oh, like, yeah, like I'm so much more of a different person back then in comparison to right now. So it's not like, oh, nothing happened. It's not like nothing happened, because a lot happened to shape me and mold me into who I am now. And of course, there's going to be a lot more to come, but like the biggest thing being my faith. I left not having great faith in God at all, not really caring about it. And then I developed it. And now I'm growing stronger and stronger in faith in my Christian beliefs and following Jesus Christ, trying my best to emulate him, that kind of fun stuff, right? I've been really, really focused on that way more. But back then, I think about it and I was like, I had no faith at all, really. Like, even like right now, I look at it like I like baseball, like things like that, where it's like I never liked baseball back then, right? And my time in Portugal didn't help me like baseball, but still, it's like it was the Blue Jays run after the fact that helped me like it. But still, case in point, it tells you just how different I am in comparison to back then. I compare the two times in my life, and albeit it's like a little bit long ago, like it's almost 3 years to the day. Like we're only a couple weeks away from 3 years from when I made that decision to go and pursue my dreams when I graduated high school, and I decided I'm going to go to Portugal and pursue my dreams. Like I speak the language pretty fluently now, whereas back then, for sure, definitely not. Like not at all. I was learning on Duolingo, and I really had like it was really like a trial by fire when I first landed and my cousins picked me up. It was like whoa. Like I don't understand anything. They were saying stuff, and I'd be like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa!" And then I learned a few words even on the first day, because I was like, "Ugh, I really don't know anything, do I?" Right? I thought I did, but no, clearly not. But then I think about all of the time I spent, all of the experiences, right? Like the first summer with the whole situation where like I kind of got scammed a little bit. I think I talked about on the show. I'm not so sure, but if I got scammed, and then I found a club. It ended up not really being a good club, right? We lost a lot of games, the whole 16 losses in a row type of thing, the whole waiting to get signed, shaving my head, doing a buzz cut, going through it, and then going out and living on my own, having the second season, it being a lot harder, then coming back, seeing my family, doing a trial in the summer of 2024, just like taking the train from Porto to Lisbon to go and do that trial. And I remember when I was sitting in that room, that very hot room in like 35-degree peak summer, peak August weather, like with like just a tiny fan, and that's all I had in that room. I remember like being in that little room because like while I was on the trial, like thinking, man, like I'm really doing this, right? Like I'm really out here, like, good for me, right? I remember like those days. I remember those times that I was there in that room, and I was like in bed at 10 o'clock, waking up at 6:30, getting ready to go, feeling energized, ready to go, right? And despite having like injuries and issues, like and the blisters, oh my goodness, the blisters that kind of absolutely destroyed me because I had just gotten new cleats. The blisters were killing me. Like it was like they went so deep in my skin, like I was like limping a little bit on the field, and I had to push through that. That was something I had to push through during my first trial. I think about that and I'm like, yeah, man, like that actually happened, and like that was super cool. And I was in a professional environment playing with players that you might see on TV in like 5 years or something like that. And then I'll be like, oh, I actually like played with them, or I played with someone that played with them, right? Like like just being in that thing is like, wow, it's like that's pretty cool, right? And there's already a player, which then I go into my second season in my team in Portugal, where I had to wait a long time to actually get registered. Then I get my Portuguese documents, and then I come back to Canada to visit my family for Christmas, and then I go back to Portugal, have the season, the highs and lows of the second half of that season, what taught me a lot of important things about myself and about the system, about the whole journey in and of itself. And then going to Huesca, right, in Spain. Going to Spain to do a trial where I met some of the greatest people I've ever met in my life, and had some of the greatest experiences ever in my life that August of 2025. And unfortunately it didn't work out. But over there, I also can say the same thing as I was talking about. Like I actually was there, and we were out there, and I actually played with someone who played with, his name is Wolfa, the Norwegian left back who plays on Wolves, and he's currently at the World Cup. I played with someone who played with him, right? So like just being able to say that is pretty cool. Like it's just pretty nice, and it's like, yes, this is like an actual thing that's happened that I went through. And maybe it would mean more to me if I was still over there. It would mean more to me if I actually made it pro. But like like I still look back on the time, and it's like you have to look back and be like, yeah, there were so many great moments, so many great memories, so many things that are true and are real. Just sometimes in my mind, when I'm caught up about certain things in the present day, it makes me forget about the time past. It makes me start to kind of dissolve it in my mind, think of it as not real. But there are so many great things about that time that is real. The many amazing people I met, the deep conversations till 3 a.m. about faith and philosophy that I had with some very good people in my like apartment complex, if you want to call it that, right? Like it was just such a great moment. There were so many amazing memories of my time there, just training with my personal trainer and all of his guys, and like being involved in all of it, right? Going to the beach, like remembering those days where I was like overtraining, and I was like super sore, and I'd be like panting and gasping for air. I'd be like feeling like crap because I was overtraining myself outside of the training sessions with my personal trainer. And like I just think about those things and trying to come back from it, and then having a little ankle problem going into the Huesca trial, but then it actually ending up being okay. And then my performance on that trial was the best I've ever done in my whole life, in my whole career. But really, like I look back on those times, and then of course I came back to Canada, and still like almost a year has passed since I came back. So there were a lot of extra things that came back in these recent times as well. But like I look back at my time there, and it's just like when I think about it, and when I truly am like, yes, all these things happen and it's super cool. Like it makes me truly rejoice in that fact. It makes me truly appreciate that time, right? Even more, and appreciate just how far I've come and just how much I've improved and how much different of a person I've become. But like, yeah, like it doesn't change the fact that sometimes the memories are kind of put all into one. Like I went 8 months or so every single day, waking up at 6:30 in the morning, going and doing an early morning workout because I was grinding, I was dedicated, right? I was doing it. I was like, that was my way of doing it, waking up early, whether it was an ab workout or a gym workout or like plyometric stuff, just to train myself in the basement or when I would go to the gym in the morning. That kind of stuff, for example, has been all compiled into one memory because there was a long period that time where the days were kind of the same. Right? I would get up early, I would do my morning workout. Usually I'd waste some time downstairs, whether it be like I did these like reflections, phone recordings where I would be talking about just a bunch of things in that time, and those kinds of moments inspired me to eventually make this podcast, because like I was thinking about the good stuff I was talking about back then and just how much I was growing even in that like 8 month period, just from seeing the recordings that I was talking about. And and then I would get into the workout, then I would eat breakfast, then I would make a video because I used to do like videos in the past, make like affiliate marketing stuff, and like was trying to do this whole social media thing in the past. I'd make a video with that. Sometimes I'd do some extra content, but then I would eat lunch, and then I would read my book. I was reading like 48 Laws of Power. I was reading Power versus Force, like those types of books, interesting, like philosophical type of books. Listening to PBD podcast, and then taking a nap while I would be listening to the podcast. So then like I would have to go back and like rewatch what I was just listening to, and then I'd eat dinner. I would chill for a little bit, and then I would go to my evening practice. Like that was pretty much like the blueprint for a day, a lot of the time during that 8 month stretch, because I was on the grind. I was moving. I was working towards things. Right. I was working toward things. I was doing it. So that type of thing, for example, you're kind of putting it all into one memory. Right. Your brain is kind of squishing it all together in one memory. Right. And there are many other like things like that. Like you remember the specific moments where I had family members visiting me, where I had great fun times with friends, great days out with friends and the people closest to me, fun laughs, fun moments, training sessions, long nights, right? Plenty of long nights for sure. And and I look back at all of that, and it's like you remember those moments, like the specific days, but like the overall like day to day what you're doing, it is all put together in one memory. So it makes you think, it makes you just kind of lose a little bit of perspective in your mind. So that's how your mind kind of tries to trick you. But even in this episode, me today, kind of talking about the things and the stories that I have and the moments I've gone through during my time trying to make it as a pro footballer in Portugal and in Spain. Like I look back on those moments, and like I truly do rejoice. I truly do appreciate it, and I thank God, of course, before anything else, for the time I was able to spend there, and the many amazing memories I made, and the growth I had as a person while I was over there. But like I guess now I have to say like it's time to move on, right? It's like you don't want to be stuck in the past for too long, right? Nostalgia can be like a real trap at times. It can really be something that keeps you stuck in the past instead of looking towards something you could be doing towards doing better in the future or focusing on the present moment, right? But it is important, right? Because it's like, yeah, like this was a huge part of my life. This is something that I have great stories to tell throughout the whole future, and even in the podcast that I made with my friends a couple days ago when we went to Niagara, like there was a specific moment where Zolt mentioned how I have a lot of great stories because of what I've already done. And he's right. And that type of a thing made me think a little deeper on this topic as well, where it's like, yeah, these things did happen. I have these stories to share. But yeah, like sometimes it feels like it hasn't happened. And I don't like that's kind of I don't know how fully to explain it, but I can explain it as the fact that your brain tries to put all memories into one thing because it wants to save energy. That's what your mind's primarily trying to do at all times. But yeah, like if you ever go through something in your life and it's like a great moment, or you spend years in another country, or just time spent traveling, or you're actually on like a deeper pursuit, a bigger thing, rejoice. Understand that even if those moments end and you have to go backwards in some regard, that's kind of how I felt at times, or you have to just move on and do other things in your life. Appreciate the time you did spend and appreciate just how long it was, and never forget about the time that you spent, because that's what I have to kind of try and work towards, because it's like sometimes I do forget about it. Sometimes I do feel like it never happened, and it's a very weird feeling to have in my mind. But I know it's happened. Of course it's happened. And of course I have all these memories and stories to tell and all these people that I've met, right? Of course, it's just the fact that you're no longer in that place, that your mind's kind of starting to distance itself from it. And it has been a little while. It's been almost a year, right? So it's like the more time that passes, the longer ago it feels, right? Of course, because that's how it works. That's how it works, right? But for me, my task is I have to always appreciate that time. Remember the time I spent there and continue to be present in this moment, in this day, to move forward in the ways that I can in my life right now. And as for you, the kind of message of this episode is kind of to do the same. Understand that your brain will try and like trick you in different ways, let's say. It will try and put memories together, but you don't want to forget it. You don't want to forget the great times in your life, because those moments that you went through, those moments are what shapes you into who you are now. And it will truly allow you to appreciate just how much you've grown and how far you've come. And that's kind of what I have to continue to think about when I'm thinking about my time that I spent in Portugal, when I'm thinking about even just the past year with all of the different experiences I went through, going to Spain a second time. Of course, that was documented on this show. There's a playlist about that. Like even that, it's like it just feels like, the thing is, it just feels so surreal, right? That like, wow, like all this really happened, like I really did that. Yes, the answer is yes, you really did do that, and you really did go out there and try your best to actually make something happen in your life. So for myself, I have to constantly remember that. I have to look at the past with fondness, but not be stuck in the past. Look at it, appreciate it, tell the stories, have great moments, be focused on the present moment, what I can do right now to move forward in my life, to continue to improve in many different aspects, and whatever's happening in the future to continue to grow in my life, to have a successful life. That's constantly what you all have to be thinking about every day. And for me, I kind of have a story that's a little bit different to other people already, right? Sometimes I feel like it's not the case, but it absolutely is the case. And it's very cool to see, right? I don't want to be prideful. I don't want to think of myself as better than others because I have a different story. But just having a different story, just you have great things to tell, great conversation to have with friends, and moments that you can talk about, and that's just such a beautiful thing, right? And I've already experienced that in a good level in my life, and I'm sure there's much more to come as well. So that's kind of my little piece today. That's my thing talking about it. It kind of served as a way for me myself to reminisce and tell a few stories about the things that happened while I was in Portugal and some of the moments that I went through. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned that, like, that's kind of how your brain works. You have to expect it. It's like if you go through a long period of something and then you go a long period without that thing, you'll start to slowly distance yourself from it and forget about it. But you don't want to do that, because those moments were such amazing moments. And in my life, I look back always, and I will always look back and just appreciate just how amazing those moments were in my life. And it's just through that you can continue to move forward in your life and appreciate the time you spent. And of course, appreciate the life you've been given, and truly get the most satisfaction out of your days and fulfillment every day. It's through in part the remembrance of those times as well. So never forget the great moments in your life. Of course, never forget it. Never distance yourself from it. As much as your brain tries to put all the memories together into one, truly learn to appreciate it. The big things and the little things as well. The day to day, the grind. I appreciate it. Even if a lot of it is kind of put together in one memory and it doesn't feel like as long as it was a pretty long time. And in the moment, just remember, right? Remember yourself in that moment, in that sucking moment, in that struggle. And it's like you look back and it's like I look back and those moments shaped me. And you'll look back and it'll be the same thing. So try and repent. Repent, of course, always, but repel your brain's kind of internal mechanisms and always appreciate the time you spent in the past. Never distance yourself from it. Always let that be your identity. Lean more into that time and let that help you move forward in your life as well. Let those memories be truly great in your mind, that you never distance yourself from it, that you never forget where you came from, you never forget what you went through, and that will help you move forward in your life every day. That's what I personally have to continue to think about and continue to do in my life as well. So that's all I got to say for this episode. I thank you for watching this episode. As always, I appreciate you for being here if you are still here. I hope you enjoyed it. Show your support in every way that you can. Like the video, subscribe to the show on YouTube, and follow on Spotify if you haven't done that yet. And thank you for watching. Thank you for watching the video in full. I appreciate your support. That's really all I got to say for today. So remember how your brain works. Your brain will try and kind of put the memories into one, and it kind of starves you a little bit from even more great memories of the life that you've had so far, because that's a big part of just enjoying your life is appreciating the time you spent, appreciating how far you've come, and continuing to strive to do better to improve in even greater ways. So thank you for watching. That's all I gotta say for today, for whatever that means. It's a little bit ranty, but I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that even it was a little bit entertaining with some of the stories I was telling and the reminiscing I was doing about my own life. I hope it was entertaining and enjoyable in that way as well. So thank you for watching this episode of the 365 Podcast. I'll sign it off in the way I always do. Continue to glorify God every day throughout your life. As always, I'll see you tomorrow for the next episode.